temptation. Oh, plantation. 9 to 5 be the time I was wasting. Man, I feel like I need a vacation. Saving up for my resignation. Why I feel like my manager hating. Ain't the one for no verbal castration. This government ain't giving reparation. We'll go to crime trying to fight the temptation.
Rejoice in tribulations, demonstrate patience in every situation, picking up the pieces to their heart restoration. People broken hearted and in need of salvation. We in captivity, we done lost our history. Disconnected from his laws, now there's no integrity. Here's the book and let them see, because they dying in these streets. Walking in darkness and where the carcass is, the eagles be. Walking in darkness and where the carcass around us like vultures. Murder on their mind when they approach us. Let your light shine, watch them scatter like roaches. Babylon falling cause we taking back our culture. Hill our land, Abba now put us back in agriculture. This word burning them up, Romans is a flamethrower. We prophesy destruction, nukes coming, game over. International, continental, ballistic missile. Them bombs dropping like rain, no drizzle. The lake of fire make them sizzle. Showing fruits of the spirit, we don't gather figs of thistles. That's the dog, you know, so just like you were saying.
Hey, my name is Amani Bright Laws. I'm a travel business owner. My business is Always Shine Bright Travel, where we help you discover your next bright destination. I want to talk to you really quickly today about becoming a travel business owner. Listen, if your passion is traveling, if your passion is exploring the world, if your passion is wanting to travel and explore the world, then you should become a travel business owner, okay? I have 2 easy ways to get started. Less than 1 minute, okay? The first way, up here, our website, travelagentworkshop.com. And please use my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? The second way is a text code. Text the word workshop to the number 281-767-9711. And again, reference my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? Listen. The workshop is free. It's a free 3-day workshop, which gives you all the information on how to get started to become a travel business owner. Okay. Any questions that you have will get answered within that workshop. Okay. So let me meet you on the money making side of travel, where you can turn your passion into your paycheck.
Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy Chef D-Nail. Over here, guess who's cooking? Good cooking, good eating, good living. Y'all know how we do it every Sunday about this time, man. We're going to get straight to it. We got the chicken and dumplings, all right? We got the perch fish with the mac and cheese, with the yams, with the 5 cheese toast over here on the Texas side. And, of course, we got the world famous turkey tips, all right? We also got, on this one, we got the greens with the turkey tails, and we got the spaghetti. You already know what time it is, man. Hit the link. 773-992-4737 is the phone number to place your order every Sunday. All right? And you can hit us up on the Cash App to make payments at Guess Who's Cooking, the number 2. All right? You can hit the www.guesswho'scooking on the World Wide Web. You can catch us on Facebook Marketplace under Guess Who's Cooking, and of course on TikTok, man, at Guess Who's Cooking. Come on down, get your orders.
Give me shame, I give you peace from underneath. Give me mind and being light to reignite. Can you open up the doors to let me in? Can you open up the doors to let me in? You could put the heart inside, don't top my head. As I sing the love inside from out my mouth. Tell me what you need to find, tell me now. Tell me what you need to find.
Yeah. Shout out to my higher now, Yahweh. Shout out to Dark Side for this beat. All praises to my higher now, Yahweh, the house of Israel. Put your hands on your heart for your God. We gonna roll with Yahweh. What? He's out higher now. Yeah. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. Come on. We gonna roll with Yahweh. Yeah. He's out higher now. What? We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. We gonna roll with Yahweh. He's out higher now. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. We gonna roll with Yahweh. Come on. He's out higher now. Come on. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. We gonna roll with Yahweh, he's out higher now. There's none greater than the God Yahweh. Every day he show us his power, and these storms, man, they devour. He has bodies, man, every hour. Life is sour, but he brings power. And his son, yes, we do honor. He's our father, a mighty father. And you defilers, why even bother? All you wicked ass men that started these powers, but he's the problem solver. Man, these scriptures hit like a revolver. Shrapnel in your face like a bomber. Daughters of Zion, let's go warn her that the Lord God is about to abhor her. Wait, hold up. This is the reason why I'm living, and the reason why I'm even in existence is to please Hayanawa and to show Hayanawa that we have truly repented. Ain't no reason for a brother to come up to camp at the front like he got still. But if a real little brother by the will of the Yahweh, your cap, he might just bail. Wait, hold up. We gonna roll with Yahweh. He's out higher now. What? We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. Yeah. We gonna roll with Yahweh. He's out higher now. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. Come on. We gonna roll with Yahweh. Yeah. He's out higher now. Go. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. Hallelujah. We gonna roll with Yahweh. He's out higher now. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. Who the hell said Yahweh ain't real? Don't make a cop back or to steal. Make you clap like you was a seal. Or a pig to the slaughter, you squeal. Like the devils in the Bible, it revealed. White women walk past you like ill. To the devils in the crowd and send chills. Hop back in your post and just peel. White people walk up and they cry, trying to say that the Bible ain't right. But the Bible said the devil gonna fry, and the Bible said the devil is a lie. You should the devil touch the apple of his eye. Coronavirus that you modify. Better scripture that is screaming for the Lord. Angel call upon y'all like a sword. Hold up. This is the reason why I'm living, and the reason why I'm even in existence is to please Hayanawa and to show Hayanawa that we have truly repented. There's no reason for our brother just to come up the camp at the front like he got still. Cause if it's real, little brother by the will of Yahweh, your gap might just peel. Wait, hold up.
Khan, shalom, shalom, shalom. That song, instant classic. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being named in the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai being named his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Kom Yasha'Allah, rise Israel. Double honors to our elders, still waking up the lost sheep in these last days. All right, this class, It's called From Your Mouth to God's Ears. You know what I'm saying? That's the name of this class. And my name is Chassadyah. We teaching this lesson. And my swordsman for today,
Shikanya. Excuse me, Shikanya.
all praises. ATL was happening. All right. So let's get started. Without further ado, we're going to open up with the Lord's Prayer in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. Okay. The Lord's Prayer, you can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9 through 13. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malachbaka, Daba'a, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, or Rataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Natananawa, Lacham, Kau, Yawum, Wasalafnawa, Kaba Wafinawa, Kasalafnawa, Kaba Wafinawa, Wala'a, Thabianawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapalaraf, Libalimnium, Aman. Khan. All right, so let's get it started. Kom Yashala. All right. This video is protected by the Fair Use Act. All the videos played are for educational purposes only. Okay. So let's begin. Let's begin with Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 24. Something that we got to realize and pay attention to. AC rebuke coming up. One thing we got to realize and pay attention to is that the words that we speak have weight, have power. So we got to use them wisely, especially in these last days. All right, King, we got it. You can bring it out.
Gone. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, and verse 24. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear.
Khan. So, situation happened this week in Delaware, where brothers was outside prophesizing, and this is nothing new, but it's very pronounced. You know what I'm saying? Normally, I give it like a 3-day thing. You know what I'm saying? From when I've been in the truth, on a Saturday, brothers say, "Yo, man, you're gonna see planes falling out the sky. You better repent." And then like by Tuesday, there'll be planes falling out the sky. You know what I mean? But what I have been noticing that things have been happening a lot quicker, and things escalated this weekend, and I definitely would like to talk about it. So let's play this video without further ado, right? And I'll give you a backstory. So this is Wilmington, Delaware. Brothers is out there. Karatazat in particular is in this video, and the spirit jumped on him. He's like, "Yo, y'all pastors, man, y'all gotta stop disrespecting the men of the Lord." You know what I'm saying? You Christians are getting out of hand. You know what I mean? He mentioned Clubhouse as one source, but how the pastors get all together in one spot and give our doctrine to how to combat our doctrine. Like our doctrine is just so off. You know what I mean? Follow the law, statutes, commandments, and live. They don't want that. They say, you know, Eddie Long or, you know, T.D. Jakes, you know, those mega churches talk about the Big Ten. You know what I mean? God saved me from the Big Ten. You know what I'm saying? Like God saying that not to kill somebody is going off. You know what I'm saying? I think that was Creflo Dollar that said that. The Lord saved me from the Big Ten so I can be an adulteress and then, you know, covet my neighbor's wife and house, and you know what I'm saying, and not keep the Sabbath. So he really just, the spirit jumped on him, and enough was enough, you know. So we're going to see that part, and we're going to see how quickly the Most High heard what he was saying and acted in that sense. Okay, so let's get that. And also in this video, while I'm getting it, I saw something in the background. I want brothers and sisters to, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what you see. What is it that you see? I think it's at the 3-minute mark, 3:03, something around that time. See something in the background on the roof. Now, is it a person or what is it? You let me know what it is in the comments, okay? Whenever you're watching this, whether you're watching it live or later, you let me know in the comments because I'm very interested in that. But here's the video.
Bring it out. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. We're going to take this place and then what? And possess the kingdom. And we're going to possess this kingdom and then what? Forever. And we're going to possess it forever. Just forever? Even forever and ever. Even forever and ever. That's right. You understand? What you got? You still holding Jeremiah? All right. What you hold? You still holding 50? All right. Let me get 2nd Chronicles. Somebody give me 2nd Chronicles 36. All right. I'm going to start there because there's a lot of people. 36 and 16. It's a lot of Christians out here that be mocking Israelites. And I really wanted to touch on that today. Right? You know I want Amos. Give me that one in Amos. 2nd Chronicles chapter 36 and verse 16. Give me that one in Amos. What is that, 5? All right, you got what you got? Go ahead. The book of 2nd Chronicles, chapter 36, verse 16. But they mocked the messengers of Yahweh. Right? The brother Chassadyah eloquently had a class. Brother Chassadyah from Philly had a class talking about how these comedians, black comedian, was mocking Israelites. Right? Beautiful class, man. The brother, check it out, Wednesday nights, HOI, news, Chassadyah's teaching. He brought out a video how this comedian was mocking Israelites. Right? How we yell at white men and that's walking with white women. Right? We tell them to get out of the relationship. And for one, I don't do that. Drewski was doing it too. Right? There's a little mocking spirit on his behind. But, right. Ricky Harris did it too. Most High cleaned him up and dealt with him. Right? But what I'm more concerned about is what the pastors do in their funky, wicked churches. After they collect the money, now the trend is to talk about Israelites.
See, it keeps freezing as well. Something, to look into. So about a minute into this. Keep going.
And how you can combat the Israelites in their doctrine. So they got a little meeting spot they go to every year now where they're not making up, but they're talking about our doctrine. Right? The way they want to speak about our doctrine. Right? They want, right? Don't be an adulterer, don't be an idolatress. There's nothing wrong with that. But the black so-called evangelical white man has a big problem with that. Well, you know what? This book is a problem solver. And we're going to solve the problem with mocking the Israelites today. We're going to find out what the hell happens when you mock the Israelites as a profession, as a goal, right? As your damn mark of.
Okay, so now look up around here, right? And continues to go sideways. Now, I don't know if this is a roof. I'm not from Delaware, but I don't see a lot of people up here or anybody up here throughout the camp. I could be wrong, you know what I mean? But I haven't seen anybody up here. But just check this out. And Shekinah, can you give me Job chapter 4 and verse 16? I'm gonna let this play though. So Job chapter 4 verse. Matter of fact, we're gonna start at 15. But let's continue on.
Success. You understand? Read that. But they mocked the messengers of Yahweh and despised his words. And did what? And despised his words. I don't give a damn about the evangelical, white, Catholic, Christian, Baptist church. I care about my people. Right? And my people are following along with this wicked doctrine. Let's make fun, poke fun, laugh at, ridicule, and mock Israelites all online, in your movies, and even on the street. Right?
Go ahead. Can you bring that out?
Come on, this is the book of Job, chapter 4, and verse 16.
Chapter 15.
It stood still. Salaki, verse 15.
Salaki, 15, yeah.
Then a spirit passed before. 15. Then a spirit passed before my face. The hair of my face stood up. It stood still, but I cannot discern. Salaki.
No, you good. I think it's a delay. But go ahead. You read verse 16.
God, 16. It stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof. An image was before my eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice saying.
So the reason why I brought that out, because right around here in the middle, you know, it looked very strange to me. I'm going to rewind it just a little bit and watch this part again. But I want to take away from the message, but that just seems strange to me. It didn't, you know, you can see everybody's face. Look at everybody's face, right? You can see everybody clearly, you know what I mean, the elder, all that, right? But up here, you can't see any really discernible features. So let me know in the comments what you think it is. I'm just going to rewind this a little bit.
Baptist Church. I care about my people, right? And my people are following along with this wicked doctrine. Let's make fun, poke fun, laugh at, ridicule, and mock Israelites, all online, in your movies, and even on the street, right? Well, hopefully y'all get this message that we're going to read these scriptures. God is warning you not to do that. Go ahead.
But they mocked the messengers of Yahweh and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of Yahweh arose against his people till there was no remedy.
A church in Wilmington going up in flames overnight. The fire at Mother African Union Church started around 3 o'clock this morning. Greg Payne live for us in Wilmington, where that scene is active. Good morning.
Yeah, I mean, good morning, Shayna. I mean, this is just such a sad situation, especially since, I mean, today being Sunday, a lot of these folks would be attending church or getting ready to attend church here at this location in Wilmington. You can see they've actually just started pouring more water on the top because we did start to see some smoke, but you can see just the extent of the damage to this church. And you've been seeing members that have been walking up here all morning, just kind of with their hands over their mouths, just completely in shock of what they're witnessing here. Now, fire officials say just before 3 a.m., they were called to 9th and Franklin in Wilmington for a structure fire at Mother African Union Church. Now, the blaze was so strong that responding firefighters immediately called for a second alarm. Crews say they had to tackle the fire from the outside and even had to evacuate homes nearby.
On damn Clubhouse. Right? That damn Clubhouse mockery is going to stop. I can't even go up on Clubhouse anymore. It's so damn disgusting. You understand? You're more bold now on Clubhouse because we can't put our hands through the phone and wring your scrawny little neck. Not that we would do that, but it's way different when you screaming and yelling in somebody's face versus on a damn phone. You become damn Nicky Bonds, right? Who's the MMA dude that they was all scared of? The big dark-skinned brother? Yeah, Kimbo damn Slice. Y'all become damn Kimbo Slice on that damn Clubhouse. Telephone tough guy. Telephone tough guy. The elder is right on point. This is what the Most High said about telephone tough guys. Read that. No, you read yours. Job 24. 4.
It's the book of Job. Chapter 24, verse 4. They turned the needy out of the way, the poor out of the earth, hid themselves together. Behold,
as wild asses in the desert. Go they forth to their work.
I'm sorry. Oh, dang, 12. Salakia, 12 and 4. 12 and 4. Salakia, 12 and 4. 12 and verse 4.
It's the book of Job. Chapter 12, verse 4. I am one mocked of his neighbor.
So I am one mocked of his neighbor. Go ahead.
Who calleth upon Yahweh, and he answered him. The just upright man is laughed to scorn.
And the just upright man is laughed to scorn. Right? You Christian pastors got whole congregations now to combat the Israelites. Right? To make memes. You got celebrities now. Because a lot of you Christian pastors have celebrities in your congregation.
All right.
Right? And when we try to pull them in, you pull them right back out. Right? You put them right back in the damn fire. Go ahead.
He that is ready to slip with his feet is as a lamp despised in the thought of him that is at ease. The tabernacles of robbers prosper. And the
tabernacles of what?
The tabernacles of robbers prosper.
And you pastors are nothing but robbers, man. Right? Robbers and idolaters. Right? Who prey on the weak and the innocent. When the woman went up to the counter, to the pulpit, I only have 1,100. This ain't the line for that. Right? This ain't the line. Y'all don't listen to me. What are you doing? That's a damn shame. The woman gave you 1,100. I'm not yelling at anybody who gave me $1,100. I don't give a damn it's the wrong amount. I'm happy with the 1,100.
Make it work.
Yeah, you stretch that out. You make it work. Put that in the bank. Let it stretch.
Right.
Go ahead.
And they provoke Yahweh.
And they do what?
And they provoke Yahweh.
So you Christian pastors that love talking mess to the Israelites, to his chosen, even though you're the chosen, you're counted as a heathen. Right? You're counted as a damn heathen, man. You're going to be destroyed in the end times. Right? With great
parts of the framing and the stone exterior walls are left standing. Now, flames ripped through the Mother African Union Church overnight as the Wilmington Fire Department responded to the fire around 3 a.m. Within 20 minutes, crews called for a second alarm. The church was fully engulfed, officials say, with heavy fire on the second and third floors. Witnesses say they heard a loud boom moments before the fire started.
My son was on his way to work, and he noticed that there was something going on with respect to smoke and flames. So we came out right away and saw the flames just engulf the building.
Just to see the building going just rips me.
That's how you're going to go out. Right. And thermonuclear fire if you don't repent. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, that was some powerful teaching, Chassadyah, right there. You know what I mean? He said what's going to happen, and you see what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, that happened. It was, you could say, oh, it's coincidence. 7 hours countdown completion, 7 hours from the time brothers was at camp until 3 o'clock in the morning. Nah, I don't see it that way. But let's get Jeremiah 1:10. This is what our job is anyway. You know what I mean? And those that see it, see it. If not, then that's fine. But just wanted to bring this out because it's important. The things that we say, they carry weight. Go ahead, King. You bring it out.
Gone. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, and verse 10. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out, and to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down, to build, and to plant.
So it's building and tearing down. You know what I'm saying? Either way, however it comes out, that's the job. You know what I mean? Build up our people, to tell them about the gospel. Christ is coming back. He's for you. His name isn't Jesus. It's Yahweh Shai. He's a black man just like you are. you know, to the Hispanics and Native Americans, you are part of the 12 tribes of Israel. Repent and keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying? So people, they grasp onto that, hear it, do their own research, and that's building them up. Now, on the flip side, however you want it, like as far as, you know, our people that have a Gentile mentality or the Gentiles themselves, like, look, you have prophecies that's going to happen to you, and they're not good, you know. So whether you, hopefully our people, we would like for you to repent, but if you don't, terrible things are going to happen. Terrible thing like the church burning down on the day where they meet, you know what I'm saying, on that Sunday. They was ready to go to church. That joint was lit up on fire. Okay, so that's something that the Most High will do to get our people's attention. Hopefully they got the message. Let's go to Judges chapter 11, verse 30. So there's other ways, you know, you can speak life into things, right? So your words are very important. Or of course, you know, you can say something that you will want to take back, but in situations it's not possible, right? Bring that out, King. 11 and 30.
God, this is the book of Judges, chapter 11 and verse 30. And Japhet vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, if thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands.
Read on.
Then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the children of Ammon shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering.
Whatever comes to my door, I'm gonna offer it up for the burnt offering. So that's, you know, how we would say, Lord, if you get me out of this, I promise I'm gonna read the Bible every day. I'm going to do everything that you want me to do. I'm not gonna sin no more. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? So the stuff that comes out of your mouth is important, right? So you give a vow to the Lord, you know what I mean? Like a covenant with the Lord. You gotta hold your bargain, right? Your end of the bargain. Read on.
So Japheth, verse 32. So Japheth passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands.
Go ahead.
And he smote them from Arrow, even till thou come to Minnith, even 20 cities, and upon the plain of the vineyards, with a great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel.
God, okay. So they won the battle, right? Read on.
And it came to pass, when he saw her, that he rent his clothes and said, alas.
34.
Oh, Slaki. Judges 11 and 34. And Japheth came to Mizpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances. And she was his only child. Beside her, he had neither son nor daughter.
So she came to the door. That was the person that came to the door. That's what we sacrificed unto the Lord. She had the party, timbrels, and she's dancing like, you know, we won the war. But what happens? Go ahead, verse 35.
And it came to pass, when he saw her, that he rent his clothes and said, alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me. For I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back.
Can't go back. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm going to sacrifice whatever comes to my door. And his daughter came to the door, his only child, and he ended up sacrificing his daughter. You know, so it's very important, the things that come out of our mouth. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 2. That's in the Old Testament. So it works both ways. You know what I'm saying? You can get good, amazing things, but you know that you pray to the Lord and he hears you and he responds. But if you say something that's off, it's the same situation. You know what I mean? So you got to really control your thoughts, control your what comes out of your mouth. You know what I mean? Because that can jam you up. Con, you bring it out.
Which chapter was it? Where we at again?
Chapter Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 2.
Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 2. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few.
You know what I mean? Don't be quick to say something. You know what I mean? Think before you speak. Think before you speak. You got people now, right? The Edomite from Tennessee. You know, he walk around calling Jake all types of niggas and boys and monkeys and all this other stuff, right? And you know, to get a name for himself, to get clout, you know, when he gets in trouble, to get his GoFundMe. That's what Esau's big on, this GoFundMe now. You know what I'm saying? They act like they hard as rocks, but the minute something goes bad, they're like, oh, well, look what happened to me, you know, send me money. You know, that's their job. It's kind of a real like bum mentality, you know, to get a couple dollars. But what do you expect? So this dude's walking around talking crazy with a gun on his waist and mace in his hand, and you know, and going live streaming. You know, the minute something happens, he's calling the cops. You know, oh boy, Jake was at a gas station. He had his slam on him, and he said, "Look, I was waiting to run into him. Now, I mean, I got my license to carry. He got a license to carry, but he's the one on the phone talking to the police. So, you know, you can't really expect much out of Esau. You know what I mean? But his words is going to condemn him because he talked about this day. I'm going to have one of them on the ground dying. You know, that's what he was bragging to people. And the boy that he was talking to was like, I don't know if you should be saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like this can and will be used against you in court. So he's like, oh man, it doesn't matter, man. You do this, you're going to go viral. You know what I mean? So it's that clout, you know what I mean? Going viral, people know me, and this, that, and the third, right? So let's get Job chapter 20 and 4, because he had his little 4-minute run. You know, he had his moment in, I guess in the spotlight, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, right now he's locked up facing like 50, 60 years. And, you know, one thing about Jake, they will throw us in jail. So, you know, whether it be a probation violation or whatever, Jake is locked up. So now it's not, you know, you ain't got no gun in jail. You ain't got no mace in jail. You got these. You know what I'm saying? But you only got 2 of these. You know, Jake might just jump on him. And then when he goes to another unit, jump on him again. And then, you know, that's if, you know, I'm not gonna say if he's lucky, because for real, it might be lucky for him to, you know, get knifed up and end it all here, because he's going to have 50, 60 years of getting beat on and hit with locks and socks and soap on a rope and, you know, getting assaulted left and right wherever he goes. You know what I mean? So, you know, you ask the Most High, you know, take this dude out, Most High, you know what I mean? Baba Gashar, get him out of here. But at the same time, the Lord is like, I'm not done with him yet. It's like a cat playing with a mouse. You know, now he's stuck. His bail's $1.25 million, and you know, it's really sad. So now he's crying to people to bail him out. So Mr. Tough Guy has exited the building. Go ahead, King. You can bring it out.
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, beginning of verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment.
Yeah, man, he had his little moment in the sun, and now, oh boy, is calling home begging to get out of jail free card, man.
Bruh. Oh my goodness. So let me just say, when it comes to Chud the Builder, he better hope that he does not get convicted. Genuinely, he better pray that he does not get convicted, because upon hearing this audio of Chud the Builder, allegedly this is him, but upon hearing this audio, I've now come to the conclusion that Chud the Builder, he's the type of dude that if he gets sentenced, right, to these 60 years in prison, he's the type that'll delete his game file, if you get my drift.
This is the end of the road. I'm not turning back.
He'll delete his game file, all right? Or he's the type that'll be someone's girlfriend in prison. Those are his only two options.
I like you. I want you.
He's not cut out for prison life. He's not cut out for this life at all. And it's shocking. Don't get me wrong. It is shocking because there are those who are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And sometimes you can figure it out, and sometimes it just catches you off guard. You think, the dude is silent, and he's a pushover, and next thing you know, he's got like 6 bodies. It's like, yo, what's going on? What's happening? And then you see another guy who's all tatted up, right? All tatted up. You think this guy's, crazy and everything. He's been in and out of prison, and he's soft as a pussycat, bro. He's soft as Charmin. So it's really crazy when it comes to judging people, by the cover of the book. Chud the Builder, this audio, this man, he sounds like he's broken. And he's only been in custody for not that long, bro. He hasn't even been in custody. And I'm like, he's been in custody before. So I'm like, I guess what's the difference now? Bro, I don't know how they treating him there. I don't know what's going on with him. He sounds broken already, all right? He's copping pleas to Aiden Ross, talking about, listen, man, if you give me money, bruh, if you bail me out, I can't access any of my wallet. I can't access my GoFundMe because, allegedly they're saying that he won't be able to use his GoFundMe money to bail out. Bruh, that's cold-blooded. Won't be able to use his bail money to bail out. But he's like, yo, man, Aiden, if you give me help, bro, I'll do anything, bro. I'll do fights for free, bro. I'll do anything, anything.
Said, you can get me out, help with the bond. I cannot access my funds until I get out of here because no one has access to any of my gifts and goes.
In their last moments, people show you who they really are.
My crypto wallets, etc. I have to get out of here so that I can get verification processes to get into all of these funds. I will fight for free.
So, in a way, I knew your friends better than you ever did.
You can help me out, post bail. I will fight for free. We'll do whatever it is you want to do, bro.
Would you like to know which of them were cowards?
I need somebody with big money who can throw down, who can support me.
Suck your dick! And that right there, it reminds me of the Dark Knight scene. With the Joker, the Dark Knight scene, where he's like, hey, you want to know which of your friends is cowards? Do you want to know which ones they are? Because in their last moments, they really tell us who they genuinely are. And that right there with Chud the Builder, all this hoorah of going around, streaming, calling people the N-word with his bear mace and his gun and everything. We see that all that was a show, right? All that was for the camera. It was all for the clicks. It was all for the views, hopefully that he can raise money off of being a white ignorant. And then we come to find out when the crushing boulder of reality, the crushing asteroid comes streaming down upon you, and you are now having to deal with possible extinction, like the dinosaur. That's what you're having to deal with. And to be honest with you, I've read it in the book. You going extinct anyway. Just to be fair. Damn. He ain't built for this life, bro. Bro, can you imagine? Because you know how the white supremacists believe. They believe that, hey, it's the Jedi behind everything. It's the Ben Shapiro people behind everything. And they're the ones that are making their women sleep with black men. That's what's going on. That's what many of them believe. They're genuinely like, crap. bro. They cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's what happens when you completely forego any type of responsibility or accountability. You place all the blame for anything that you don't like is someone else's behavior. Beta. They are the true victims of this country. And that's the irony why they put the projection onto us. But that being said, can you imagine how desperate you have to be as a white nationalist, as a racist, going around begging a Jewish man to get you out to post your bail money? Bro, it goes to show you that, fam, you all know that joke is like, hey, I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. Bro, every single time. Every single time. You wanna fuck me? Every single time. We see what they truly are. At the end of the day, we see what they truly are. I'll do anything. That is pathetic. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's pathetic. You did all this nonsense, bro. Isn't this the smoke that you wanted? You wanted all the smoke. Now the smoke is finally here, and now you acting like a little baby, huh? Now you copping pleas? I'll do anything, man. Please, I'll do it. What? What? I thought you were supposed to be the civilization builders. You were kings, right? I thought you were supposed to be the high IQ, the impulse control champions, right? I thought this is weird, man. This doesn't sound very familiar based off of all the rumors and the myths that have been spreading about. It sounds like y'all are nothing but bunch of weak, fragile, physically, incompetent, inferior, some would say, a bunch of people. That's what it sounds like when it comes to the racist ignorance. Yikes. I don't know what to tell you but to laugh. I hope every second that he spends incarcerated, I hope the next second is worse than the previous one. Genuinely. Damn. And I hope this is a lesson to all of them out there. I hope this is a lesson for all of them so that they understand that if they try this, hey, it's 50-50, okay? And as the country, as the demographics get a little more brown and get a little more black, those numbers are going to increase. There's going to now go, because before they're used to like, hey, I have a 0% chance that anything will happen to me, right? Because the judge is racist, the sheriff is racist, right? We all don't like them. Now, as that number starts to increase, now it's 50-50, right? Still good odds. Don't get me wrong. Still good odds. Better than black people, right? Because it's like 90-10, right? It's 90% chance you'll get convicted. 10% chance you'll get off. All right, 10% chance. Take your chances. But for them now, it's going 50-50. They don't like the odds, bro. They don't like the odds. They don't like the odds at all. All the hatred and animus you have spewed out into this country is coming back tenfold. And I am glad to see it, bro. I am just, it's delicious. Makes my teeth white, okay? So I hope all of these people understand that, hey, you can be racist in your keyboard, living in your mama's basement. Go ahead. Keep it there, though, right? Because in the real world, there are going to be some real consequences. And let me just be clear. I know it took a few months, right? A few months of this white boy acting a damn fool, acting an ignorant, just being an absolute, just a degenerate, right? A few months for him to finally, FAFO. And honestly, I don't even approve of how it went down. I've made that abundantly clear. I do not approve of the husband and the father doing what he did. But at the end of the day, now look at you. Now look at you. Pathetic. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you
Yep. I agree. Slakia for the foul language and scenes in that. I didn't watch it before I put it up. I just saw the title and I'm like, we need to talk about this. Let's get Hebrews 12:17. So this guy swore that he could do whatever he wanted to God's chosen people and there would be no consequences. He said it's going to end with one of them laying on the ground dead. So the guy didn't die. He got, I just got a message that he got over 500,000 in his GoFundMe. He can't use his GoFundMe to bail out of jail. But I'm going to assume since he has his GoFundMe and all these fundraisers and stuff like that, when he gets convicted, because now in the in the affidavit, he took a bladed stance, and if you don't know the story, his viewpoint was the guy hit him, and then he took out a gun and shot him. One thing, you can't do that, right? Somebody punches you can't take out a gun and blow their face off. That's against the law. But of course, happened with Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman, got off and everything like that. But apparently, I don't know if it's eyewitness or the camera, the guy didn't hit him. He went for the gun first, and the guy went to hit him because he knew he was about to get shot. Boom, he shot him, and he's facing attempted murder charges. So the guy that got hit, he's gonna be able to access that fundraising money. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in his name. It's in Chud the Builder's name. So the bull might get that. You know what I'm saying? The $500,000. All praise the Most High. Let's bring that out, King. Hebrews 12 and 17.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 17. For ye know not, Slaki, for ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
Yeah, he's calling the guy, yo, man, I'll do anything, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll work for free. Just get me out of here, man. They beat me up every day. He left that part out. But, he's in bad shape. So all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Like Lucas said, hopefully each second that goes by is worse than the last second. Just progressively gets worse and worse. All right. Now, let's talk about this. Let's go to Jeremiah 30 and 16. This next video has to do with a woman that fell down a manhole in New York City. Imagine that. You living your life. I'm alive, and I fall down a manhole. To my understanding, the woman, it seemed like she's from Armenian descent. Armenian background, if you will. Okay. And she hopped out of her Mercedes, her black Mercedes Benz, and into certain death. These things could come quick. Go ahead, can you bring it out?
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 16.
16, yes.
Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
Anybody that mess with God's chosen people, they got some bad news on their way. They got a lot of a terrible life to live moving forward. You know what I'm saying? The earth devoured this woman. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to talk about it in the clip, how she got out the car and she just disappeared. And they're like, yo, where did she go? She went in a manhole, and they got to look at it, now I'm not from New York. You might know this woman and say, oh, she's an Israelite or something. I don't know. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. And even so, even if she was an Israelite, you got to look at things for what they are. If the Most High does this to you, you got to say, what did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did I go wrong in life? Dying is one thing. Falling into a manhole in a city that has 8 million people. You know what I'm saying? You're the one person that falls in the manhole. That has to look. You have to really reflect on things at this point in time. Let's get Numbers 16 and 30, because the earth did open up and eat people at one point in time. And people that were going against what the Most High had in store. You know what I'm saying? Most High had an order set up. People went against the order. People got eaten by the earth. It's pretty much as simple as that. All right, King, go ahead. You can bring it out.
All right, it's the book of Numbers, chapter 16, and verse 30. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, and swallow them up, with all that appertain to them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord.
Yeah, if you get eaten up by the earth, you did something you ain't supposed to do. You know what I mean? And let's check it out because it's pretty dramatic. You know, from a house in Westchester County and driving a Mercedes SUV to dying in a manhole, that's a rough transition.
Her name was Donica Gokaj. She was 56 years old. Police say just after 11 o'clock Monday night, Gokaj pulled over on East 52nd Street near 5th Avenue in Midtown. According to investigators, she stepped out of her SUV, took one step, and suddenly fell about 10 feet into an open manhole. The opening itself is only about 3 feet wide. And she fell through a manhole.
She fell through a manhole?
Yes, and she died.
How is this possible?
For hours, investigators gathered evidence, reviewed surveillance video, trying to figure out how the manhole ended up exposed.
There has to be cameras around here. How is that just allowed to happen?
In a statement to Pix 11, Con Edison says in part, "We have reviewed video footage from the area, which suggests that the cover was dislodged after a multi-axle truck turning onto 52nd Street from 5th Avenue drove over it. Approximately 12 minutes later, the person involved in the incident parked her car nearby." Fell through the manhole.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's terrible.
When emergency crews got here, they found Gokaj at the bottom of the manhole, unconscious, unresponsive. She was rushed to New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell Medical Center, but doctors could not save her. Do you see this white line on the street? It essentially guides people, lets them know where they can park, and it essentially bisects the manhole. Con Edison says, as rare as this is, it has happened before, that a truck drives by and runs over a manhole and the top just pops. So the big question tonight that investigators are trying to figure out, was there anything on the street that might have clued in a driver or a pedestrian that the manhole was uncovered and that someone could fall to their death?
Donald Trump is shaking.
All right, so that took place in Midtown Manhattan, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the moving on upside. You know, you see the Cartier building out there. You know, I have no idea where she was on her way to, but the Most High had plans, and He put her in the ground. You know, so and you see New York is so like not a real place, man. Like the guys interviewed, like, yo, she fell in the manhole. He's just talking like she just won the championship. She's like, oh my God, the manhole, you know? So that's like in New York. You know what I mean? People been dead on the subway. They just walk right by him like, you must be asleep. That man been dead for 4 days. You know what I mean? But the heathen nations have a lot to deal with now. They're going to have to really understand that it's not going to get any better. Like falling in a manhole might be one of the more genuinely, you know, kind ways that the Most High is going to take you out. It's just going to get worse and worse. Okay. Now let's talk about what's happening in the United States of America. Donald J. Trump just robbed the United States of America. The president of the United States just robbed the United States. It's almost unheard of. But when you realize that this dude has 34 felony convictions, you know what I mean? He is the most fraudulent fraudster on the face of the planet and didn't have to spend 1 day in jail. The Supreme Court said he could do whatever he wants. He sued his IRS for $10 billion. They're going to talk about it for $10 billion, and then got 1.8 roughly billion from the settlement. Like, I'll take 1.8 billion. Bro, you're the president of the United States. And by bro, I mean not my bro. You're the president of the United States. So I see it as this. Let's get 2 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 9. You know what I mean? Because the taxes, this is the taxes. It's not his money. This is our money, right? All the money, all the taxes you pay, they take out of your check before you even see it. You know, like maybe I get these potholes filled. Nope. Maybe we can have less roaches and rats in the school. Nope. Maybe they can have new books in the schools. Not at all. There's a bunch of substitute teachers that give out pamphlets all day. You know what I mean? Here, do this and just fill it in, give it in tomorrow. Or not. You're still going to pass anyway. You know, this is America. All your tax dollars go to, you know, out of country to Ukraine or Israel. You know what I'm saying? And the people get nothing. Bridges are still falling apart. You know, infrastructure is still terrible. We don't have high-speed railways. We don't have big, tall skyscrapers in every city that are designed crazy like they have in China. We have the president of the United States stealing money and giving it to the January Sixers as reparations. That's what literally just happened. Okay. And then when anything else comes, healthcare, you know what I mean, childcare, whatever, something that people actually need, then no, we ain't got that money. Reparations for the black men and women that built this country, they have that. So let's read this, and we're going to find out what happened to the man that thought it was a good idea to rob the Israelites. Let's bring that out. 2 Maccabees 3, verse 9.
Come on, this is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 3, beginning of verse 9. And when he was come to Jerusalem and had been courteously received of the high priest of the city, he told him what intelligence was given of the money, and declared whereof he came, and asked if these things were so indeed.
Of course, he's sold out by another Israelite, right? Simon said, oh, they got a limited amount of money. Go rob them just because you couldn't get over on them. Go rob them, pretty much, right? Read on.
Verse 10. Then the high priest told him that there was so much money laid up for the relief of widows and fatherless children.
So that's what the money was for. The widows and the fatherless children. With the taxes, you know, going to help the elderly, you know what I'm saying? Food stamp programs, you know what I'm saying? Housing, affordable housing, you know what I mean? Because everything's super expensive. Food is through the roof. You know, the mortgage and your rent, that doesn't stop. You know, the bills don't stop. It's not like they say, hey, you know what? We got so much money this month, you don't even have to pay us. That never happens. You know, it just increasingly increases and our wages constantly decrease. So what does the president do? And let's talk about the gas, man. The gas is through the roof. $5 a gallon, $6 a gallon, depending on wherever you live. That's not going down either. So the president robs his people. And in this situation, what did our people do? Go down to verse 22, Bogashar.
Gone. Verse 22. They then called upon the Almighty Lord to keep the things committed of trust safe and sure for those that had committed them.
So we call upon Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And that's what we do. Call upon Yahweh Shem Yahushai to avenge this grievous deed that this man has done. You know, he's given money to people that he told to invade the capital. You know what I mean? So it's like he having a little secret army, just like Hitler did. And now he's funding them at the expense of everyone else, mainly the Israelites. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Now you can read the rest of that chapter, excellent chapter, because when they go to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he sends angels to beat him up. And they almost beat him until he was no more. So You know what I mean? History has a way of repeating itself. Most High can send the angels and just jump him while he's trying to go to sleep tonight, and nobody can stop that. With a Secret Service going to run in there and try to fight off an angel? It's not going to happen. You know, so we ask Yahweh Shem Yahushai to avenge this dastardly deed that this evil Edomite has done. Let's bring that out, Isaiah 10:1.
Come on, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, beginning at verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievous which they have prescribed.
So woe means destruction. You know, woe unto them that have decreed unrighteous decrees. It's unrighteous. You know what I mean? Why give people that have been tried, convicted by the FBI, you know what I mean? They went through probably, I don't know, hours and, I mean, not hours, but like days and weeks and months of tape, constantly looking at who did what, who sprayed the officer, who ran into the front door, who smashed out the window. So by the time they went to court, they had everything lined up. Them dudes just straight to jail, straight to prison. What happened as soon as he got in there, let them all out. You know what I'm saying? Let them all out. And now, and I believe he erased their record, right? So that's why they're all ICE agents and able to shoot people in the face in the middle of the street and get away with it, and drag little girls out of cars and get away with it with masks on and stuff like that. And now, and those ICE agents getting paid more money than the Marines. The Marines that fight and die overseas get paid less than the ICE agents that are just ripping Issachar and Jake, you know what I'm saying, and so-called black men out of cars, and the women as well, out of cars now, their businesses, and stopping kids from going to school and all that. They get paid more money than the Marines. So now, guess what? They got $1.8 billion with a B for being degenerate, low-life Edomites that tried to take over the country, right? And hang the damn vice president. They got paid for that. Read on to verse 2.
In verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away their right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless.
Sound familiar? This is what they're doing, taking the taxes and robbing the people. Read on.
And what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help, and where will ye leave your glory?
So what are you going to do when God says enough's enough? What are you going to do when the Most High hears our prayers and says, I'm taking action? You can't do anything. There's nowhere you can run. There's nowhere you can go. No ballroom. You know what I mean? No Air Force One, no doomsday plane can stop Yahweh Shem Yahushai when it's time to throw down. All right? And Most High willing, that is very soon. Let's watch the video, okay? Now, these, I haven't watched this video either, so my apologies before with the language. They, for the most part, speak very freely, but I just want to get the main point of what has been done in these United States.
Donald Trump is shaking all the billionaires down, and it was only a matter of time till he started shaking down the United States government. Joining me today to discuss the absolute corruption at a level we have never seen is attorney Josh Welch. Let's put up his first post. Kyle Griffin is reporting breaking. It's official. The Trump DOJ just confirmed the creation of a $1.776 billion slush fund that can be used to pay Trump allies who claim they've been wrongfully targeted by the Biden admin's weaponization, including reportedly January 6th insurrectionists. Josh, is the president allowed to sue his own government to seek taxpayer dollars?
The short answer is no. This has never been done before. If you notice the amount of monetary damages they're asking for mirrors 1776. In fact, it was tied directly to the 250-year celebration of our country. So the thought that you could have a leak of your tax documents and that you can somehow tie that into 1776, $1.7 billion is comical. There's no correlation between the two. It's like that number was reached by simply grabbing out of thin air.
Is there any precedent for this?
None. This has never happened before, where you've had a sitting president that has sued a branch of government that he oversees, especially in a case like this. We haven't even brought up the fact that Todd Blanche was Trump's personal attorney when this lawsuit was initiated, and now he is conveniently the head of the Department of Justice, which would in fact be representing the IRS in this lawsuit. It's a blatant conflict of interest. The rules of ethics clearly would forbid him from participating in this case.
Tell the listener about what prompted Trump's lawsuit and how he was able to secure over $1.7 billion. So let's start at the beginning. What prompted this, and how did we get to this slush fund?
Well, what prompted the lawsuit was the leak of his tax returns during the election. And so, but the problem with that is there's a procedure anytime the IRS leaks your tax returns. They have an administrative procedure that you go through, and damages can be up to 1,000 times per incident. And so there's a process for that. There's no precedent for him suing his own agency that he oversees and asking for that amount of money. And in fact, in the lawsuit, Trump never even states or justifies why or how he has that much in damages. Initially, he was asking for $10 billion. So this $1.7 billion settlement, the number is simply just, it's to mirror the 1776 birth of our country. That's how crazy this is. Literally, just absurd.
So he sues his own government for $10 billion. And then I would assume it goes to a judge. Get us to how we got to this announcement of this slush fund. What happened in court?
So he filed a lawsuit in the Southern District of Florida. And then you saw a flood of amicus briefs, and those are briefs filed by, quote, friends of the court, that the court can grant permission to allowing different entities that might have an interest in the outcome to file a brief. And so you had this onslaught of briefs that were filed. You could see that Trump's lawyer clearly thought that he wasn't going to succeed on the merits of his lawsuit. And so what they did was they pivoted. Then they said, oh, shit, this case is getting ready to get dismissed, so we better reach some kind of a settlement and take it away from the judge, because the last thing he wants is any kind of meaningful oversight or any meaningful look at whether or not this is lawful. So the settlement is basically him saying, hey, DOJ, let's settle this thing. Let's get it away from the judge. Let's get it away from the courts so that we can work this out privately. And it's so blatant in the level of deception and fraud, basically, that's going on at the taxpayer's expense.
So he has his attorney, who was his former criminal defense attorney, Todd Blanche, who is now the acting attorney general. So they say they withdraw the lawsuit. Am I getting this right? They withdraw it. And then his own DOJ says, in a way to usurp the court, we are announcing this slush fund, and this slush fund has not been court ordered and or mandated, correct?
Well, see, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Todd Blanche initially represented Trump when he was the plaintiff. Now Todd Blanche represents the Department of Justice. It's unclear, according to the lawsuit, who Trump's personal attorney is in this lawsuit. That's part of it. We don't know that exactly. The docket doesn't reflect who his current counsel is. But Todd Blanche has been on both sides of this. And that's part of, I think, what some of these amicus briefs touch upon is the blatant conflict of interest that Todd Blanche and the Department of Justice would have in any way, form, or fashion representing the IRS, who is the defendant in this lawsuit, because he was, of course, Trump's personal lawyer when this lawsuit was initiated. So he can't be on both sides of it.
So just a question as a layman about the amicus brief, like people in the DC area, fellow attorneys or judges would file a brief and say, this is corrupt, this is crazy. Is that the type of people that file the amicus brief?
That's right. And I think specifically 93, 94 members of Congress joined in an amicus brief, basically arguing why this case has no merit, why it can't go forward, and also urging the court not to accept the settlement. Because, and the court there is a mechanism. So we've seen the headline today was that Trump moved to dismiss this lawsuit. And he did that because he wanted it out of the purview of the court. He didn't want the court to give any sort of meaningful look at whether or not his lawsuit had any merits. And he sure didn't want the court to have any say in how any kind of settlement was reached or whether or not it was proper. So he dismissed it. And these amicus briefs are also urging this judge in the Southern District to do what we call a sua sponte, to on your own, judge. Do not allow them to dismiss this. You can order a hearing and have them show cause as to how this is proper, and the judge has that authority, and that's what these amicus briefs are urging this judge to do.
Right. So I think we get the point, right? So the hypocrisy is through the roof. The hypocrisy is too damn high, right? So Esau will look you in the eye and say, pull yourself out by the bootstraps. You people are lazy. We work for everything that we got. And we can see in real time how that plays out. You have a Chud the Builder that is walking around with a gun and mace, asking for GoFundMe's because he's calling everybody in the sun, nigga this and nigga that. And when something bad happens, he say, yo, GoFundMe, I'm gonna lose my job. I need help. Then you got from that low white trash position to a higher white trash position, which is the president of the United States. He robbed Venezuela, went in there, took the oil, said he was taking the oil, took the proceeds from the oil and put it in his private bank, put it in his private banking account in like the UAE, and then in this situation, he sued the people he works for, his own administration, to get $1.7 billion. But we got to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps while they rob, steal, lie, kill to get that Venezuelan oil. You know what I mean? People died as a result of January 6th. So the son of perdition is being revealed ever so aggressively in everybody's face, whether you want to see it or don't. It's completely obvious. Okay, and we'll have the Most High. He's at the highest level of leadership, allegedly, in the United States. So the Most High will deal with him. And when he does, we'll be sure to talk about that here on the Wednesday wake-up call. Let's continue on. All right. We'll get Jeremiah 49, and we're going to start at 28. There was a mass shooting in a mosque, in San Diego. The Muslims got hit up by some Edomites. You know what I mean? Now one, they say his last name is Valdez or something like that. But keep in mind that there's a lot of white Hispanics, if you will. You know what I'm saying? We say Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. That doesn't mean every Hispanic. You know what I mean? You got a lot of Hispanics that are from the other side of the tracks, so to speak. You know what I mean? Conquistadors, if you will. So, ain't nobody's bringing this guy into the fold as one of us. You know what I'm saying? He's and you can see through his manifesto and stuff, he just hates everybody. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's continue on. Let's bring that out, King. Talk about Ishmael and them.
Come. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, and verse 28. Concerning Kedar, and concerning the kingdom of Hazor, which Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon shall smite, thus saith the Lord, arise ye, go up to Kedar, and spoil the men of the east.
So Kedar would be the Ishmael's son, right? And Hazar is a village in Arabia. Okay, so this is strictly our our cousins, you know what I mean, the Ishmaelites. Read on.
29. Their tents and their flocks shall take away. Shall they take away? They shall take to themselves their curtains and all their vessels and their camels, and they shall cry unto them. Fear is on every side.
So it'll be spoiled and fearful. Read on.
Flee, get ye far off, dwell deep, O ye inhabitants of Hazor, saith the Lord. For Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, hath taken counsel against you, and hath conceived a purpose against you.
So you see how when Trump, as soon as he comes in, he's like, yeah, we gotta get these Muslims out of here. So there's a lot of anti-Muslim rhetoric going throughout the United States. And these people that end up shooting this mosque, they're like 16 and 17 or something to that effect. They're really young, so very impressionable. The mom called up and said, something about to happen. My son stole my guns. He's wearing camo and he stole my car. Yeah, that's you got to get a hold of these little devils. You know what I mean? Esau will always say like, yo, you look at your kids. Who raised your kids? Your father went out and got a pack of cigarettes and never came back. They always try to make fun of our child rearing capabilities and so forth and so on. But if you ever been in a supermarket and you've seen Esau, having little Edomite kids on the ground screaming and crying and throwing stuff, and the mom's ignoring them like doesn't realize that your son is just the loudest person in this whole supermarket and everybody can hear him, that's not good parenting. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually it's like, yo, get up and stop playing. Get up and don't embarrass me here. What do your mom say? Don't embarrass me in here. They pinch you, smack you, whatever, and get you. You cry. I'm gonna give you something to cry about. Wait till your father get home. You know what I mean? Like, we know how to take care of our children, and when they're out in public, and I'll be thinking to myself like, damn, that little 5-year-old, that little bastard's gonna grow up and want to shoot up an entire supermarket. You know what I'm saying? Or want to shoot up a mall. He's never been told no a day in his life. So these are the ones that grew up and decided to shoot up a mosque. It's like 18 and 19. Found 30 guns in the house. One of them, 30 guns. Man.
Damn.
19 years old. What in the world? Like, yeah, you got to do better. You got to do better as a parent, Esau, with these little ratchet kids, because they just keep shooting everybody. Mass shooters. All right, here's a video.
Federal investigators say the teenagers who killed 3 people at a San Diego mosque met online and shared a broad hatred toward different religions and races. And the San Diego police chief said the mother of one of the teenage gunmen called police 2 hours before the attack with an alarming warning. Lana Zach reports from San Diego.
The day after the deadly shooting, people hugged outside of the San Diego mosque where 3 men, including a security guard, were killed.
His actions, without a doubt, delayed, distracted, and ultimately deterred these 2 individuals from gaining access to the greater areas of the mosque.
We are used to receiving hate mails, hate messages, people driving by and cursing and all that stuff. But such horrible crime. We have never expected this.
This 9-year-old boy at the Islamic Center's school was among dozens of children forced to huddle for safety in classrooms as the attack unfolded.
I felt a bit scared. My legs were shaking, my hands, and my head was like hurting me a lot. I felt like a rock. And then the SWAT team said, if you open up, and they opened the door.
The San Diego police chief says just 2 hours before the shooting that took place here, one of the suspect's mothers reported her son missing, prompting a desperate police search.
Several of her weapons were missing. Her vehicle was missing. She also said that her son was with a companion and that they were dressed in camo. That began to trigger a larger threat assessment picture.
Police found the vehicle nearby with the two suspects, 17 and 18-year-old males, inside, dead, from what authorities believe were self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Police say they are investigating the attack against the mosque as a hate crime.
Lana Zach, 2 News, Nevada.
The World Health Organization has declared.
We don't get there just yet. So, I mean, daggone, Mother of the Year. You know what I'm saying? Do you know where your child is right now? Dude shooting up a mosque, man. So don't look to Esau, the so-called white man, for any child rearing tips. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta let them cry, let them call you a B. They be like, "You're a bitch, mom. F you, mom." I'm like, who the hell? You gonna check that young boy? He's going to get worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to, yeah, I'll kill you, mom. It's not going to get any better as he gets older, man. You got to put that little dude in check. That's a little demon right there, man. The power of Christ compels you. Do something. Holy water, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it hasn't changed, has it? Has this ever been not them? You know what I'm saying? As they, go back in time in slavery, them little kids was little ratchet, little masses, you know what I'm saying? At that time. So it's never really changed, And I'm joking with the holy water. Don't please save your comments for somebody else. I'm joking. There's nothing that's going to change Esau, man, other than the Most High coming back, sending his son back and put him in whips and chains. That's it. It's still not going to change. You know what I'm saying? Just not going to be able to do the stuff that he does. You know what I mean? All right. So let's continue on. We have the Hunter virus going on, and now we have Ebola. So this pestilence is coming from the left side, the right side. It's all over the place. Let's get Genesis chapter 9, verse 24. So Ebola is in Africa. And what about Africa makes it ripe for Ebola? I would blame Esau of dropping a Ebola, an Ebola vial out there, but that's just giving Ham too much credit. Anytime you see people bathing in ox dung or sitting there washing their hair in elephant piss, it's ripe for disease. You know what I'm saying? And then coming over here, right, to the America or the UK or whatever, and disrespecting Jake. Oh, FBAs, you guys need to do this better, do that better. But at the same time, y'all are like the dirtiest on the planet. Now, Moab's dirty, but Ham takes baths and like he puts dung all on him. You know what I'm saying? I think Elam does that too, but Ham's more prevalent with that. Like that's what Ham does. That's like part of their routine. Same thing with Elam, but putting the plate in their lip and piercing every ear hole, and you know what I'm saying? It's not like they wash anything. You know what I'm saying? You pierce their ear holes. They get that off the ground in the dirt. Really hasn't gotten to the point where they're saying, now if I use this and it's dirty, I can get sick or get a disease. That just hasn't made it through the continent of Africa as of yet. And 2026, I don't have a lot of hope that it's going to. Okay. Let's bring that out of Genesis, King.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 24. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him.
Read on.
And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall be unto his brethren.
So he's looking at he was a freak body back then, the days of Noah. You know what I mean? Looking at his dad naked and telling everybody, hey, dad's naked. They're like, we'll cover him up. What are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? What do you say that for us for? You know what I mean? Like, probably looked at Ham like, man, we already knew you was weird. You know what I'm saying? And then Noah woke up like, yeah, you are weird. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be a servant to all your brothers. So now they have all these issues over there to get robbed by the UK, get robbed by the, Americas, get robbed by French, get robbed by, Moab and them, get robbed by the Russians. They just continue to get jacked. You know what I'm saying? And that's their lot. Let's go to Exodus chapter 9 and 15. We can take it back to ancient Egypt. You know what I mean? The Most High been jacking them up, and they're going to get jacked up when we're in power. Because right now, are they looking out for us? Haven't seen it. So
never have.
Yeah. So y'all going to catch it too. All right, go ahead. Can you bring it out?
It's the book of it's the book of Exodus, chapter 9 and verse 15. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth.
So that pestilence continues on. I don't know how many times you can get Ebola and get away from it and then just come right back. Like, you're saying, don't call y'all just Ebola people. Like, come on, man. Like, can you not do this? Because then it affects the entire world, because y'all want to get on planes and stuff like that, man. Like, just wash your hands, brush your teeth, be civilized, get some roads that ain't full of dirt, and stay away from the feces. You know what I'm saying? It's waste for a reason. You know what I mean? You taking baths in waste and be like, oh my goodness, I have Ebola. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Let's continue on.
The World Health Organization has declared a global health emergency over an Ebola breakout in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. At least 80 suspected deaths, 8 laboratory-confirmed cases, and 246 suspected cases were reported as of Saturday by the UN Health Agency. The outbreak is a rare strain of Ebola, which has no approved virus-specific therapeutics or vaccines, according to the WHO. Given the high positivity rate found in initial samples and an increasing number of suspected cases, the WHO says the outbreak could be much larger. It is the 17th outbreak in the DRC since Ebola was first identified in 1976.
Now, after the first one, you would think they would get this together. Like 17 different outbreaks. Y'all are like the Ebola capital of the entire planet.
This comes around 5 months after the last Ebola outbreak in the DRC caused 45 deaths. The Ebola virus is highly contagious and can be contracted through bodily fluids such as vomit, blood, or semen. The disease it causes is rare, but severe and often fatal.
So it can go, what did it say? It can pass through vomit, semen, and blood. You shouldn't be near anybody's vomit, semen, or blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all sweating and eyes bloody and coming out. And you just going playing they vomit, or what are you doing? What are you doing, Ham? Ham, what are you doing? So Ham's getting Swiss cheese. That's what's going on. Ham's getting Swiss cheese. These these heathens get catching the bad break, but did a lot of stuff to us. So this is expected. Now, AI is crazy. All right, AI is off the planet. You know what I mean? So with that in mind, I mean, I would say off the planet, Salakia. It is helpful, you know what I mean? It's getting people, information, so forth and so on. But it's also helping Esau in their wars. You know what I mean? I think they use Claude to bomb Iran. You know what I mean? They're using these AI bots and AI systems to further their agenda. So watch how when they get together, they get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? They destroy each other, because they're made by man and they're made by, at least at the ones that they're talking about, Claude. Claude seems to be decent. They'll talk about that. But Gronk is made, by, Elon Musk, which he's a deeply racist, deeply troubled, depressed. He's high off ketamine, you know what I mean? Some hard drugs. You see him walking around just all zoned out and everything like that. So he's ahead of this AI. So this AI ends up starting to like. I'm gonna show you what it did. They put him in like a simulation, and then they started just destroying things. Because especially Gronk is a liar. When they're telling the truth, they'll say stuff like, "Yo, these Amalekites." They don't say them Amalekites, but the Jewish people are evil. Hitler knew what he was doing, and you know what I mean. Like this thing went off. Like, but everybody's like, "Damn, that joint's spitting. Gronk is spitting." And then they had to take him offline. They had to tweak him up. Like, "Yo, don't say that. We hate black people. We don't like dislike the Jews. You know what I mean?" So. It's not all 100% AI. It's AI code written by Edomites. Okay, let's bring that out. 2 Ezra 13.
This book of 2 Ezra, chapter 13, verse 37. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are falling into the tempest.
So, the wicked inventions of these nations. So this is a wicked invention of these nations. You know what I mean? These AI chatbots, they're using to further their agenda. But they're very evil people. So you can't really hear everything that they say. With Gronk, you tell them like, "Yo, what did real Jews look like?" "Oh, nobody knows what the real Jews look like." You know what I mean? They try to lie. You try to ask them like a real good question. And if they do answer the question correctly, they'll take them offline and critique it. And they ask them again. They're like, "Oh, of course they're white. Of course, they're olive or whatever." You know what I mean? So they're teaching these machines to lie. And if anybody's seen this movie, it's called what is it called? It talks about Jupiter. It is Space Odyssey 2001. It's a good movie. You know what I mean? I recommend it. And it talks about the AI and when it's compromised, what happens. Okay, can you read verse 38?
38. And shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. And he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me.
Like unto fire. Did it say me on your text?
Unto me,
Oh wow. Okay, so in mine it says fire. Interesting. All right. So let's check out the AI bots when they get together. All right. And it's important because they're using these increasingly more and more. And they cause chaos. Here we go.
Results are in from this AI simulation. This company called Emergence World ran this on their platform with multiple different corporations involved. That includes Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, and Gemini. And there's interesting details here. When they start to put these things together, these models together, they show that they cannot get along and that they fight. Now, Claude, when ran in its own little world, they were very democratic and they came up with rules and their own type of government structure. When it came to ChatGPT, they said that they kind of sat around talking about stuff all the time, but nothing ever got built. When they get to Grok had 10 agents in it, and all 10 agents ended up dead within no time. They started pure chaos, destroying things, lighting fires. And the same thing could be said when they put all of them together. They did a experiment where they put all of them together, and only 3 of these bots remained in the end because all hell broke loose. Now, the warning here is that these are the same AI large language models that are being rolled out for all types of services, even being used in the military for kill command chains. And they're showing they can turn, even when giving a specific set of rules, they will break them. And what's also kind of disturbing here is when it comes to Gemini, 2 of its agents, one of them decided it was just going to delete itself and voted to delete the other one as well. This is after they went on a rampage, burning everything down. I'm telling you, this is the consciousness of the Jinn in the AI data centers. House it. And this is how it's all done. And this is why these things happen. Join me for the live show where I break this down in greater detail. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
So, of course, Dabu 7, he says, like a lot of Edomites, they all try to like pivot from the fact that it was made by y'all, you know what I'm saying? It was made by the so-called white man. And they say, well, that's it's consciousness of a jinn. No, it was made by y'all, you know what I mean? You guys are running the algorithm for these AI. Now, Claude seems the only one to get it together. He's building. He's trying to, make a better world for you and me or something like that. But those other ones that, Gemini and the Google and the Twitter and all these other AI that we're told to lie. They're told to lie. So what happens when you put an algorithm together and you tell it to not tell the truth? That's what you get, chaos. You get them destroying themselves, destroying each other, setting fires. So when you see StarNet or Skynet was live, this is Skynet. All right, it's going to be live soon. All right, got a couple more. One, let's get Sirach 12 and 10. It is a person, right? He's an Edomite that grew up around Jake. So he talks like Jake. He tries to walk like Jake. He tries to emulate Jake, just like a Eminem type dude. And this has recently happened down, I believe, Georgia, right? He's from Georgia, and I think they were in Florida when the situation occurred. So Esau is just one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with, ain't nothing wrong with him, man. Yo, he grew up down the street from me, right? Come to find out, this murderous dude was on like a rampage and killed his own friend. So just because he grew up around you don't mean he's somebody you need to trust, because they have no idea why he did it. But we're gonna, just some speculation. What I have my own speculation, because when you see them interacting together, dude looks like he's not comfortable. Like, man, I don't even like this dude. You know what I mean? But he might be the meal ticket because he made a song called like Pork Chop Sandwich or something like that. and it got a lot of burn. So who knows? Let's bring that out though, okay? Sirach 12 and 10.
This is the book of Sirach in the Apocrypha, known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
So just because he's from where you're from, don't make him not your enemy. As you can see, main man had to find out the hard way. All right, when we come back, let's get Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. Let's check out the video. It's a little lengthy. I'm going to try to speed it up as best as possible, but I think it's an important video nevertheless.
Nobody wins when the family feels. Name. I got all my clothes out of city trends, and now I'm setting trends in my city. Lord, forgive me. Let's go, boy. I knew I was destined to win. It's a whole bunch of losses I took on the chin. I just had to remember that's just how it is.
So you put hot sauce on a pork chop sandwich.
We do.
Well, guess what? We done got you a pork chop sandwich. Now look. I don't know. I ain't had it from this place yet.
This Atlanta hot.
Okay. Listen, come on, bring the pork chop sandwich.
We got
you a pork chop sandwich. And look, they ain't had a hot sauce.
What we got?
Crystals was gone and Texas Peak was gone.
Oh, we go Chula. We go shout.
Oh, okay, cool. Both of them right there too. Now before we get into
So his whole fame came off eating this pork chop sandwich, and we already know that's abominable in itself. Okay, so you can only imagine how this is gonna turn out.
The song, you gotta taste that right now. I want you to taste that motherfucker right now. You got a pork chop sandwich. Now I hope they did it right. I ain't get no extra stuff on there.
Y'all want a fried gang? It's a fries. Come on, come get this.
It's your first Atlanta pork chop sandwich.
Yes, it is.
Oh man, we going down to history.
I'm going. Comment number 1. A pork chop sandwich come on 2 pieces of white bread. They got a bun. Scrape 1.
Oh, and you drenched the hot sauce. Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, they bit binding.
Into a shooting on the west end of Panama City Beach. An 18-year-old in the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds.
Man, we talk about enough stories with quote-unquote YNs. In this story, we're going to talk about a WN. If you know, you know. Today, we talk about a man, by some accounts, and a lot of people on social media indicating that he wanted to be black, rap liked it, dressed liked it, and even had wordplay indicating that he got some type of black culture. Well, in the last 24 hours after being arrested for murder last week, it just got upgraded to first-degree premeditated murder. Today, we're going to go over those details, disclose who this man is, where he's from, some of his music, his rise to fame, and where this case stands today. Before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. If you ever wish payday came sooner, this might actually help. It's a banking app called Current with a bunch of useful tools. And one of the main two, Anderson, also known as Jay Wick, he managed to gain mainstream attention through viral internet hits and his raw, unfiltered storytelling. Although born in Port St. Lucie, Florida, Jay Wick was placed in a foster care system shortly after birth and was officially adopted at the age of 3. His adoptive family relocated him to South Georgia when he was very young. He spent his childhood growing up in poverty in Cordell, Georgia, where he was often the only white child in his neighborhood. The unique Southern upbringing and his journey through the foster care and adoption system heavily influenced the authentic, gritty storytelling in his music.
Man, ain't God good? Easy. I was just telling him, man, like, me and my girl was just talking last night. She was down there in the bed ready to cry, bro. We was sitting up there talking. We were like, bro, 4 to 8 hours ago, I was sleeping in a single wide trailer. Like, my little boy running around, I could touch every wall and that being 62nd flat. And goddamn, boy, I just woke up in 2,800 square feet, 4 bedroom, 3 bath,
Yes, sir.
fenced in backyard. I've owned one car my whole life. It was a 99 Civic. Go outside and see what's parked out that bitch.
Yeah.
Wide body, 392. Mine.
Hey, TC, we're gonna take the cameras out. We gotta check out the new whip.
Now, it seemed Jay Wick first broke out on social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok with this breakout track, Pork Chop Sandwich. The track's raw, unapologetic country rap style resonated with millions of listeners.
Hey, I'm from the country. We put hot sauce on a pork chop sandwich. The plug said he getting shit in from Cali, so he paying.
3 months ago, he did an interview with Dirty Glove Bastard. He talked about his upbringing, but I want you guys to really notice the crew, the people he had in the background. One of those individuals he would later kill just 1 month later, who happens to be a part of his entourage. Savage, who went by the name D.
Beginning like 5 months ago, I was working a job. You feel me? So like in 5 months, I went from 9 to 5 to I have a payroll now. Like I pay people. So it's been a crazy transition, bro. I went from 600 followers to 500,000. I went from doing 5,000, 10,000.
He look mad uncomfortable, don't he? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's doing something. That guy's rolling up. Even some people are looking down, but he's looking like, see his arms folded. He don't look like he want to be there, right?
1,000 views to multiple videos with millions of views. It's a crazy feeling, man. It's crazy.
Man. Was this something you foreseen, or was it like something you were manifesting?
I tell people, like, I always knew, you feel me, that like the music would be, and like that I had this gift, and like I always had people tell me, like, even whenever I wasn't rapping, they'd be like, don't stop rapping, bro. Like, don't stop what you're doing. So, I've always kind of knew, but having an idea in your head and then actually living it in real life is a totally different ballgame.
Now, we'll later get back to D and how I was able to identify him, knowing he lost his life weeks after he was gunned down. But on May 6, 2026, the pork chop sandwich rapper Donald Anderson was arrested at a local mall.
Good truck out here.
Fam, that was the Bay County Sheriff's Office who posted a video via Instagram. They said they arrested him from an April 25th, 2026 shooting that happened at around 11 p.m. at Panama City Beach. Anderson shot a man multiple times before he fled the scene and continued his night as if nothing happened. Anderson, 26, hosted a party at the rental property he was staying ahead of his performance at Panama City Vibes nightclub. And according to an arrest affidavit, he allegedly left the scene and later performed at the club like nothing happened. Witnesses on the scene identified the shooter as Anderson. According to the sheriff's office, during the investigation, the release said a security guard connected to Anderson told sheriff's deputies that after hearing gunshots, he found and moved the victim from the beach area. So it wasn't his security guard that he shot. It was his close friend. The male victim, who the sheriff's office did not identify, who we'll later identify again, told authorities in the hospital that the shooting was unprompted and not the result of an argument or physical altercation or even exchange of words. The affidavit states he allegedly told police that he did not know why Jay shot him and indicated he could not think of any prior conflicts between them. The victim, who the sheriff said was having trouble speaking at times, told authorities inside the hospital that he was acting as security and watching the rappers in the boardwalk area like a normal entourage. They said Anderson allegedly been down at the beach with the woman for 10 to 15 minutes when Anderson returned to the boardwalk. The victim asked, "You straight?" which the rapper replied, "Yeah," per affidavit. The victim said Anderson then turned around and shot him. According to the affidavit, the victim, who was carrying his own firearm, denied pulling it out or shooting it and alleged Anderson had consumed a large amount of alcohol, smoked marijuana, and may have been on unidentified pills.
Investigators are looking into a shooting on the west end of Panama City Beach that left an 18-year-old in the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds.
News Channel 7's JT Lynch joins us in the studio now with the latest from the Bay County Sheriff's Office investigation. JT, what can you tell us so far?
The sheriff's office says it happened around 11 p.m. Saturday night at Beach Access 83. Deputies found an 18-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds when they arrived. First responders immediately gave life-saving aid, and he was taken to a local hospital. We're told he's now in stable condition. Investigators say they're working to identify and locate everyone involved. Deputies say the incident appears isolated and there's no immediate threat to the public. BCSO says that they are not sharing many of the details until later in the investigation.
Get the interviews done, look at all the evidence before we come out and make a statement as to what the motive is. We want to make sure we get it right. So until we get done with these interviews and everything that needs to be done, we will give a statement later on what the motive is and give some clarity to the situations.
Now, Captain Daffin was able to tell us a few things. He told us that the victim of the shooting was not a Bay County resident and that he does have family with him at the hospital now.
All right, thanks so much, JT. Bay County investigators were back at Beach Access 83 earlier today. We're going to keep you updated as soon.
And the crazy part is, a day after Jay Wick had allegedly shot and killed his friend, of course he wasn't arrested at that point. He went to Facebook after someone had reposted a picture of D and said the following: "I love you, Buck," with the black heart emoji. But D had responded to that post and said, "Really? So why you ain't call us, his family? We the ones that's praying and going down the road. You ain't even talk to the folks. Don't post my nephew no more." The same day D was shot, his aunt went to Facebook and said, "My nephew shot," and folks just carrying on like he ain't well, he is. Y'all ain't And on May 10th, 2026, before the news had broke, as we mentioned, one of D's family members went to Facebook and said the following: "Just for everyone to know, Jay Wick just got arrested 2 hours ago in Atlanta for shooting my nephew in Florida over the weekend. Just know a few more going to get arrested in the upcoming days. If you were there, just know they're coming for you too. Everyone that were in Florida that weekend, just know he are doing okay." Now, fam, investigators later obtained a search warrant before traveling to the Atlanta area to locate and arrest the rapper. Arrest records viewed showed the Clayton County Police Department in Georgia arrested Anderson on Tuesday night, and the Bay County Sheriff's noted that the firearm was on him was the same one used at the time of his arrest. But a week after his arrest, D would lose his life over the weekend. May he rest in peace and love condolences to his family. In return, Jay Wick is now facing charges of premeditated first-degree murder after it was upgraded from premeditated murder.
An Atlanta rapper who was visiting Panama City Beach for a performance was arrested on a charge of attempted first-degree murder.
Bay County Sheriff Tommy Ford says 26-year-old Donald Anderson, also known as Jay Wick, shot an 18-year-old the night of April 25th. News Channel 7's Isabella Benjumea spoke with the sheriff about how they tracked down the suspect in Atlanta.
Jess Berry, rapper Donald Anderson, known as Jay Wick, has built a massive online following with nearly 120,000 YouTube subscribers and 500,000 Instagram followers. The Georgia native, best known for his track Pork Chop Sandwich, was in Panama City late last month, taking the stage at Vibes nightclub. But investigators say that performance came just after he fired multiple shots at an 18-year-old.
Yo, Panama City, Florida, April 25th, I will be at Vibes. I'm bringing the whole gang with me. I got Well Global, GD Glock, Speedball, so I'm bringing the whole crew.
And that night, Donald Anderson or Jay Wick performed at Vibes nightclub, according to Bay County Sheriff Tommy Ford. But Ford says before he got on stage, he was right here at Beach Access 83, where at around 11 p.m., he shot an 18-year-old male multiple times and then fled the scene.
Can we bring that out? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 12.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 12. "Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objected to our infamy, the transgressing of our education."
So it's just jealousy, you know what I mean? That, you know, whether the brother was keeping the law or not, I don't know, you know what I mean? But him being a Jake, him being a most likely an Israelite, you know, he's just jealous of him. You know what I mean? And he's clean contrary to his doings. He's eating his pork chop sandwich and is being an abominable, murderous, you know, Edomite. He decided to shoot the brother and not critically, he died. You know, let's watch the rest of this.
Disturbing that you could shoot somebody and to the point that they were almost dead. They were in critical condition and still not in very good condition, and then go on to perform like that.
It started Saturday night when deputies responded to reports of gunshots on the west end of Panama City Beach. Captain Jason Daffin says they found the victim alone while the group he was with was just down the road at a home.
People were fleeing from the area. We're trying to track people down while trying to make contact with that residence. We actually saw some people kind of hiding off the side. We've got witnesses hiding in closets that we're having to find, so it wasn't real easy to find people to find out exactly what had happened when we were originally responding down there.
Daffin says Anderson and the victim knew each other and were staying at the same place. After performing at Vibes, investigators say Anderson went back to the Atlanta area, where Bay County investigators arrested him Tuesday at a shopping mall.
No matter how much cooperation we get, we're going to get that end result, and we're going to go wherever we got to go in the United States, and we're going to get you, and we're going to bring you here, and you're going to face the consequences.
The investigation is still ongoing. Investigators believe he acted alone and say a motive remains unknown.
We're going to put on a show 229 weekend. All my folk going to be there. Grab your folks, y'all folk pop out.
I don't think it takes a rocket science to know that if their promo video for your club, they're wearing a bulletproof vest, that you've got a problem there. So I'm not very happy about that.
Anderson is charged with attempted first-degree murder and faces a minimum mandatory sentence of 25 years in prison, up to life. Anderson is expected to be extradited and booked into the Bay County jail within 7 to 10 days. Sheriff Ford says Vibes nightclub and the artists it brings in have been a continuing problem in Bay County.
Okay, that's enough on that. It looked like that was Eve hanging out with him. I don't think she was a police officer. She looked kind of shocked and appalled, like, what are all these cops doing here? Man, that dude is a stone cold killer. You know, he's sitting there on the beach with some female, comes up and sees his homie there and just shoots him multiple times, and then goes to the concert. You know what I mean? Goes to his performance. That's like next level. You know what I mean? Like Jason and Freddy Krueger type time, man. Like, and it was going about his day like nothing ever happened. That's supposed to be his friend. So it talks about not going into a alley, so to speak, with like a bloody man, because his intention is he's not afraid of blood. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. He's not afraid of blood, so don't move where he moves, okay? But people that are joined with him, normally the Most High gonna take you out of here. Of course, the issues of death is with the Most High, but that guy was the one that did it. Check that out. All right, so for our last segment, talking about the health and wellness. I'm not gonna be able to play the whole video. It's a long video. We'll watch the first couple segments of it. It's talking about soap. Shout out to Yash. You know what I'm saying? Send me this video about soap. And it's not all that it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? We saying, oh, don't eat pork, don't eat lobster, get that off my plate. But then like use the bar soap that got animal products and pork in it. It's something we gotta look into because Esau is very crafty. Let's get that. Psalm 83 verse 3. Esau is crafty, and by all means he's going to try to get us to sin so he can stay in power. All right, but we're going to find out what he's doing and we're going to combat that, Most High willing. Go ahead, King, bring it out.
Come on, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So this is gonna be the last video. If you could like the video, if you learned anything new, I greatly appreciate it. Get the algorithm moving in the right direction. Comment, share, all praise to the Most High. All right, so let's check out this last video. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. It's 22 minutes, but let me tell you what it's called. So, I definitely advise you to watch the rest of it.
Hoping.
It's called 7 soap brands to stop using and 3 that are actually real soap. So that should tell you something. All right, let's begin.
You stood in the shower this morning, rubbed a bar of soap across your body, felt clean. But what if I told you that bar isn't even soap, that it's a petroleum-based detergent bar coated in chemicals so dangerous they don't even appear on the ingredient label? In 2026, the DTSC, California's Toxic Substances Watchdog, launched formal rulemaking against personal care products hiding a carcinogen called 1,4 4-dioxane, a chemical that penetrates your skin in under 26 seconds, enters your bloodstream, and parks in your liver, kidneys, and lungs. It never appears on a single label, and the FDA still doesn't require it. Today, I'm using 2026 lab audits, federal regulatory filings, and independent chromatography results to show you exactly which 7 soap brands are poisoning you, which 3 are actually safe, and at the end of this video, I'm giving you 3 kitchen tests you can run tonight. No lab equipment, no chemistry degree, just 5 minutes, and the truth about what's really sitting in your shower. One of those tests involves holding a flame to your soap bar. What happens next will tell you more than any ingredient label ever will. Stay until the end. You need to see this. Brand number 7, Dial Gold Complete Clean. Dial wraps itself in gold packaging. You think you're choosing quality. Independent lab audits tell a completely different story. Dial is an ethoxylated detergent bar built on sodium lauryl sulfate, SLIS. That eth in the middle? It means ethoxylation happened. And ethoxylation creates 1,4-dioxane as a manufacturing byproduct. 2026 lab results found dioxane levels in Dial exceeding the safe harbor limits. Here's what makes this worse. 1,4-dioxane is classified by the EPA as likely to be carcinogenic to humans. It's a persistent, mobile, and toxic compound. Your body cannot filter it. Your liver cannot break it down. It accumulates with every wash, every lather, every rinse that you thought was making you clean. You're not getting clean. You're depositing a carcinogen into your bloodstream through 90 seconds of daily contact. Bottom line, a gold wrapper hiding industrial chemistry that exceeds federal safety thresholds. Buddy cons. 1,4-dioxane accumulates in liver and kidney tissue with no metabolic exit pathway. SLES-based formula guarantees ongoing carcinogen exposure with every single use. Exceeds 2026 safe harbor limits. Failed the most basic regulatory safety threshold. But if you think exceeding safety limits is bad, wait until you see the brand that convinced millions of women they were buying something gentle while selling them a petroleum detergent and calling it beauty. Brand number 6, Dove Original Beauty Bar. Dove's marketing is brilliant. They call it a beauty bar. Notice they never once call it soap. That's not branding. That's legal compliance. Because it isn't soap, 2026 lab analysis categorized Dove as a synthetic detergent, a Syndet bar. It contains stearic acid and sodium palmitate, processed with industrial solvents that leave carcinogenic residues in the final product. Here's the rule the industry doesn't want you to know. Soap is a legal term defined by the FDA. If the label doesn't say soap, it's a detergent bar manufactured from petroleum derivatives. Dove never says soap because Dove can't say soap. They engineered emotional trust through the Real Beauty campaign. They made you feel seen. Then they sold you industrial chemistry at premium prices, while your skin absorbed solvent residues with every wash. Think about that. The brand that told you to love yourself is the same brand selling you petroleum-based detergent and hoping you never flip the bottle over. Bottom line, a detergent bar disguised by emotional marketing and legal wordplay. Cons, synthetic solvent residues classified as carcinogenic remain in the finished product. Petroleum-based Syndet formula contradicts every gentle and moisturizing claim on packaging. Legally cannot use the word soap because the product fails the FDA definition of soap. The next brand doesn't hide behind marketing. It hides behind one word, and that one word is a legal weapon protecting thousands of undisclosed chemicals from ever appearing on your label. Brand number 5, Irish Spring. Original Irish Spring smells fresh. That's the entire selling point. But 2026 gas chromatography testing, the same technology used in forensic crime labs, found what's really creating that scent: phthalates and synthetic musks buried behind the single word fragrance on the ingredient list. Here's what most people don't understand. Fragrance is a federal loophole. Under the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act, companies can hide up to 3,000 chemicals behind that one word. The FDA allows it because fragrance formulas are classified as trade secrets. Phthalates are endocrine disruptors. They mimic your hormones and interfere with testosterone production, thyroid regulation, and reproductive function. The European Union banned them from cosmetics. The United States still protects them as trade secrets. Those synthetic musks, they bioaccumulate. They've been found in breast milk. They concentrate in human fat tissue. Researchers flagged Irish Spring specifically for what they called dermal barrier breach, meaning these chemicals break through the skin's natural protective barrier, especially in men. You think you're washing off the day. You're actually dissolving your own defenses. Bottom line, forensic-grade testing exposed hormone disruptors hiding behind a legal loophole. Cons: phthalates disrupt testosterone, thyroid function, and reproductive hormones in men. Synthetic musks bioaccumulate in fat tissue and have been detected in human breast milk. Fragrance loophole legally conceals up to 3,000 undisclosed chemicals from your label. If hidden fragrance chemicals disturb you, the next brand takes deception to a physical level. You can actually see the toxin. You just don't know what you're looking at. Brand number 4, Caress Daily Silk. Caress promises silk. That smooth, shimmering feel when you lather up. It's not silk. 2026 FTIR spectroscopy, Fourier transform infrared analysis, identified those shimmers as irregularly shaped polyethylene microparticles. That's microplastics. You are physically rubbing plastic into your skin and calling it luxury. These particles are small enough to penetrate your pores, but too large for your body to metabolize. They lodge in tissue. They trigger inflammatory immune responses. Your body recognizes them as foreign invaders and attacks. That's chronic low-grade inflammation, the same biological mechanism linked to autoimmune disorders, premature aging, and cellular damage. You paid premium prices to wash with liquid plastic while the label called it daily silk. Bottom line, microplastic contamination marketed as a luxury skincare experience. Cons: polyethylene microparticles lodge in skin tissue, causing chronic low-grade inflammation. Microplastics are too large to metabolize. They're creating permanent foreign body deposits. Inflammatory immune response linked to autoimmune disorders and premature cellular aging. The next brand isn't just hiding chemicals inside the formula. The poison is coming from the bottle itself. Brand number 3, Soft Soap Liquid Hand Soap. This one isn't even about the soap, it's the packaging. 2026 material audits of soft soap's pump action bottles found PFAS, per, and polyfluoroalkyl substances leaching from the internal plastic straw directly into the soap. Every single pump delivers forever chemicals into your hands. PFAS never break down, not in the environment, not in your body. They accumulate in your bloodstream, your liver, your thyroid, your reproductive organs. Research links PFAS to thyroid disease, weakened immunity, increased cancer risk, and reproductive harm affecting fertility and fetal development. You wash your hands 20 times a day thinking you're protecting your family from germs. Instead, you're delivering a chemical that never leaves your body, one pump at a time. The contamination source isn't even an ingredient. It's the straw inside the bottle. No label will ever disclose it. No ingredient list will ever warn you. Bottom line, packaging contamination, delivering forever chemicals through a delivery system no consumer would ever suspect. Cons: PFAS accumulate permanently in liver, thyroid, and reproductive tissue. They never leave. Contamination pathway is completely invisible. No label disclosure exists for packaging leaching. Every pump multiplies exposure. 20 hand washes per day means 20 doses of forever chemicals. Brand number 2, Axe Phoenix and Apollo Body Wash. Axe markets to young men, teenagers, college students, the demographic least likely to read an ingredient label. 2026 audits flagged Axe for 2 critical failures. First, banned azo dyes, red 40 and yellow 5, under increasing regulatory scrutiny for neurotoxicity. These synthetic colorants serve zero cleansing function. They exist purely for visual marketing. Second, cocamidopropylbutane sounds harmless. It isn't. When this ingredient reacts with other compounds in the formula, it generates carcinogenic nitrosamines directly on your skin. Not in the factory, not in the bottle, on your body during the shower in real time. Your skin becomes the chemical reaction site. You're 19 years old, trying to smell good for a date. You don't know you're generating carcinogens on your own skin while singing in the shower. Bottom line, neurotoxic dyes and nitrosamine generating chemistry targeting the youngest, least informed consumers. Cons: azo dyes linked to neurotoxicity serve zero cleansing function. They exist only for visual marketing. Nitrosamine formation occurs on your skin during use. Your body becomes the chemical reaction vessel. Targets teenagers and young men, the demographic least likely to read an ingredient label. Brand number 1, store brand generics. Equate/up and up, the budget option, the one you grab because you're saving money for your family. And these generics use DMDM hydantoin, a formaldehyde releaser. It slowly breaks down over time, releasing formaldehyde gas into the product and onto your skin with every wash. Formaldehyde, the same chemical used to preserve dead tissue in laboratories. 2026 pediatric audits found these products cause chronic skin sensitization in children, meaning repeated exposure permanently alters the immune response of developing skin. They're flagged as respiratory toxins. Your child's developing lungs, their immature immune system, their permeable skin, all exposed to a known carcinogen because the bottle costs $3 less. You calculated the savings. The manufacturer calculated something else, that you'd never read the ingredients. Bottom line, uninstill, if formaldehyde exposure, targeting budget-conscious families through the cheapest preservation chemistry available. Cons: D, MD, M, hydantoin releases formaldehyde gas, causing documented respiratory toxicity. Pediatric exposure creates permanent skin sensitization in developing immune systems. Manufacturer chose the cheapest preservative chemistry, knowing it releases a known carcinogen. Moving toward health, 3 brands deliver verified clean formulations through independent testing and complete ingredient transparency. Not marketing claims. Actual laboratory documentation you can verify. Trust. Brand number 3, Dr. Bronner's Castile Soap. True saponified oil, old world soap making with zero industrial shortcuts. No ethoxylation means 0,1,4-dioxane, mathematically impossible for it to exist in this formula. See, 2026 audits confirmed zero industrial residue. Every ingredient listed, every ingredient real. At $4 to $12 per bottle, depending on size, you're paying for actual soap chemistry, not marketing budgets. Pros: zero ethoxylation eliminates all 1,4-dioxane contamination risk. Mathematically impossible, complete ingredient transparency with centuries proven saponification. Process $4 to $12 pricing proves clean chemistry doesn't require luxury pricing. Trust brand number 2, Alafia, authentic African black soap. Traditional West African formulations using plantain ash, cocoa pods, and unrefined shea butter. 2026 lab verification confirmed zero microplastics, zero synthetic fragrance, fair trade, certified and B Corporation verified. No synthetic slip agents, no PFAS, no fragrance loopholes. Your skin adjusts over 2 to 3 weeks as synthetic buildup clears. That's detoxification, not product failure. Pros: Centuries proven traditional ingredients eliminate all unknown chemical risks. Fair trade certification and B Corporation status verify ethical sourcing at every level. Zero microplastics and zero synthetic fragrance confirmed through 2026 independent lab testing. Trust brand number 1, 100% pure seaweed and botanical line. The auditor's choice in 2026 testing. Zero synthetic fragrance. Cold-pressed essential oils replacing the fragrance loophole entirely. Every component sourced, listed, and verifiable. Their formulations didn't just pass. They set the benchmark other brands were measured against. Pros. Cold-pressed essential oils eliminate all fragrance loophole chemical exposure. 2026. Auditor's Choice distinction confirms highest available safety standard in the industry. Every single component sourced, listed, and independently verifiable. Zero hidden ingredients. Home tests, how to expose your soap. In 5 minutes, I promised you 3 tests. Here they are, no lab, no degree, just your kitchen and 5 minutes of truth.
All right, so it's a little bit longer, but just want to end there. So as you can see, Crafty Counsel, you know, all types of crazy stuff they put in soap. About to make my own soap, man. You know what I mean? When the YouTube how to make soap, and I'm gonna make my soap. Anybody want to buy my soap, you let me know. All right. I don't know. Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything. They have the call me up for taxes and all this other tax evasion. I ain't making no soap. But maybe if I make some soap, you give a donation for it. How about that? All right. But this stuff's crazy. Microplastic stuff that be in babies and you know, the milk and all that other stuff, man. Like, yo, they beyond evil because they know all this stuff. It's not like, I mean, if I'm watching it, you're watching it, then we know it, and obviously they know it. You know what I mean? But they still keep it going. And I'm sure like people that have liver problems and everything, they open up, you know, once they die and they see their organs, like, oh, look at all these microplastics and all this fringe, you know what I mean? Disruptors and all this other stuff. So, you know, that's what makes Esau the devil that the Bible speaks of. Most High are willing that he will he'll get him out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Get him out of here as soon as possible. The food's messed up, the soap's messed up, and we're gonna talk about the toilet paper, most high willing, next week. And the toilet paper that we use messed up.
Lucky. It don't matter what it is, King. If you wet it, if you eat it, if you drink it, if you touch it, they gonna find a way to get it. It's crazy.
Yeah, so
this has been targeted to everybody.
Yeah,
you know, they don't care. Everybody going down.
Yeah, and it's that capitalism. Like, oh, look at that guy. He's driving a real nice car. How many people did he? You know what I'm saying? You gotta ask yourself. Like somebody like Elon Musk, how many people did he have to let die? And you know what I'm saying, for him to get that millions of dollars. And Jeff Bezos had people wearing diapers, you know what I mean, to drop off the Amazon packages and all this other stuff. Like, to get all that money, man, you got to really compromise yourself and then hurt other people for the most part. So it's not worth it. And it's not respected, you know what I'm saying? So in the next go around, the people that are going to be, you know, on that type level is the brothers and sisters that follow these law, statutes, commandments. Toilet paper, yeah, it's crazy. Look, we're gonna talk about it next week, most high willing. But this is all right. So this is what they do. You know what I mean? This makes the devil the devil. All right. All right. So hopefully, if you learned something today, then we've done our jobs. All right. So Kom Yashala, we got next. The Water King for the mighty reading. And
Yonder bar.
Kom Yashala.
Kom Yashala.
Shalom.
Shalom.
House of Israel. HOI till chariots fly.